have a hard time saying that you are scared to death that Brian wants to leave his job because he's not happy with his job and he thinks there may be a layoff and he wants to go do something else and he wants to be able to spend more time at home with the kids. And Brian, can you please not leave your job? You are the sole support of this family. And until something happens and you don't have a job, you do not have the luxury to be able to think, I'm going to go, now is the time. I'm going to go back to school, incur even more debt to do so because you don't have a penny to go back to school with. We're back with a case of the debt that won't die. Angie and Brian are here with us from Los Angeles. Angie is 36 and Brian is 35. They were high school sweethearts and married 9 years ago. They have 3 children who are 4, 5, and 7 years old, and they are just adorable. Take a look at them. Brian is a senior project manager in the video game industry, and Angie has been building a new photography business for the last year or 2. Now, Angie and Brian have been in credit card debt their entire life together, and Angie wrote in because she has no idea how to dig them out. But there's another issue on top of the debt that has Angie seriously stressed out. So, Angie, let's start with you because you wrote in, and then we'll get to this other problem that's causing you concern of the debt. But tell everybody really what caused you to write in to the Suze Orman Show.
You know, I'm kind of an impulsive person, and I, checked my bank account, our bank account, and it was negative. And I was so frustrated because I caused that by overpaying on credit cards. I'm trying to pay them down, and it just seems like they keep growing instead of shrinking. So I wrote in because I felt like, every time I think we're, on top of our debt, it just we keep backpedaling.
So, Angie, I get the debt part big time. I see the numbers here. I get that you have debt, and you've had debt from ever since you met good old Brian there. But the question is, isn't there another reason that you wrote in?
Yes. I'm building this photography business that's really, I'm not really earning a whole lot. And, he's basically providing all the income. But, there might be a career change in the future. And it scares me because we don't really know what
to do. You know what I find so funny about this? I just have to say, most people have such a hard time saying, I have debt. I've always had debt. I don't know what to do about it. But you have a hard time. You had an easy time doing that. You have a hard time saying that you are scared to death that Brian wants to leave his job because he's not happy with his job and he thinks there may be a layoff and he wants to go do something else and he wants to be able to spend more time at home with the kids. And if he leaves his job, where are you going to get it? Because you're only bringing home $600 a month, Angie, but you have expenses of $6,000 a month. And Brian, can you please not leave your job is what Angie is trying to say. Now, Brian, did I have that about right?
Yeah, that's about right. I would say that, that's just kind of a constant sort of thing. If I lose my job, what do we do? It's not easy to find jobs in the video game industry, especially right now, and especially not locally to where we live. So I would have to commute, 2 hours plus maybe every day. So
your answer to that potential problem is, well, maybe you'll quit your job, maybe you'll go back to school and get a degree, maybe you'll do something like that, and then you'll have to worry about how do you pay your bills and student loan debt, and you still won't be able to get a job. Is that your solution to this problem that's causing Angie all this aggravation?
Well, debt is obviously in the forefront, but I mean,
let's stick on you, Brian. I don't think debt's in the forefront. I think you are in the forefront because your wife couldn't even talk about it. Angie, you be honest right now. You are on the Suze Orman Show. You came on the Suze Orman Show. You have got to be honest. You have got to put what's most important to you, and the debt you can deal with somehow, that we can figure that out. What you are freaked about is Brian wanting to leave his job. Yes or no?
Yes.
Tell him. Tell him what you are freaked about.
I'm scared because I'm not making enough money to, support. I'm trying to build the business, but it's, all my efforts feel like they're falling onto deaf ears, And
I just have to say this, but with his deaf ears there, because I'm going to tweak his little ear here in a second, don't worry, Brian, is, Angie, you are a stay-at-home mother to 3 kids and trying to bring in money. Don't you ever put what you are doing down in your own head. There is no job as hard as being a stay-at-home mother. And trust me, if Brian had to stay at home 7 days a week with these kids 24 hours a day, he would want to go back to his job so fast, I cannot even tell you.
I kind of agree.
So Brian, let's come back to you for a second.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Sweetheart, are you really thinking that you are going to be leaving this job? Is this really your reality? Is this what you're going to do?
Well, you know, it's just, it's been kind of a frustration in my life that I've, you know, sort of never taken the bull by the horns and sort of gone in the direction that I've wanted. I've sort of kind of gradually fallen into these things and kind of moved in a certain direction that hasn't been, you know, exactly what I want to do. So, you know, to me, it's kind of a chance to say, well, you know, if there's an opportunity for me to help her with her business, an opportunity for me to sort of take on some of the burden of the kids, because I know that that's insanely hard for her. You know, if there's a way that I can do that and take a part-time job while I'm at school and then eventually get back into the full-blown business, but, you know, doing something that I enjoy a little bit more and spending a little more time with them and being closer to home, you know, we think we could save money. I commute 2.5 hours every day, and if I could bring that down, you know, we could save money there. And
Brian,
we're trying to find creative solutions.
I want you to listen to me. You are the sole support of this family. And until something happens and you don't have a job, you do not have the luxury to be able to think, I'm going to go, now is the time. I'm going to go back to school, incur even more debt to do so, because you don't have a penny to go back to school with, and that you can help her with the kids part-time. She does not need help with these kids part-time. She needs a full-time income coming in to pay the $6,000 some odd you have of bills. Let's just get real here and show everybody what you have. You have monthly income of $6,737 right now after taxes. You have monthly expenses that are real, of $6,216. You have $500 extra. But if we look at what you really have, here you are. You're in your mid-30s with 3 kids. You have only $37,000 in retirement. At this point in your life, you should have a few $100,000 in retirement. You have $4,000 in an emergency fund. If anything happens to either one of you, that $4,000 is gone in 1 month with your expenses. You have no investments. You have about $40,000 of debt. You have a net worth of $425. Why do I think that your children in their savings accounts and piggy banks have more money than you guys do?
They do.
What I find absolutely amazing as I look at your lives, your life started in debt, and it has been in debt ever since you've gotten married. You went into debt to get married. We have to deal with your credit card debt. The best way to do so is to get you on a plan. So I would like you to contact either nfcc.org or AICCA, AICCCA.org, and they are a nonprofit debt management program. It will not hurt your FICO scores or credit scores, where they will put you on a 5-year plan of how to get out of this credit card debt. But for the first time in your life, the two of you are going to get out of credit card debt, and you're going to stay out of credit card debt. And to that end, I asked my producer to have you bring all your credit cards here today, and I'd like you to hold them up.
All right. These I actually never took out because I wasn't going to use them.
All right, take them out right now. Take them off that stupid little piece of paper. Are these all the credit cards that you have?
Yes.
These are the credit cards that allow you to do things that you cannot afford. There is a scissors right by you. I am asking you to pick up that scissors. I am asking you in front of everybody to cut into little shreds every one of these credit cards, and do not call the credit card companies and say, I lost them, can you please send them? Because these cards have allowed you to live a lie. Stand in the truth with the Suze Orman Show right now and start cutting every one of them up. Cut it. And think to yourself, as you cut this up, you are cutting the bondage to your past of debt. You are cutting and paving a way for your new future where you are out of debt and you are standing in firm ground and you're going to be debt-free and you're going to be powerful and you're going to have a future that you want and you're going to raise your kids in a way that they're going to be proud because they're going to know what it's like to have a mommy and a daddy that's happy. And Brian, you're going to start loving your job and appreciate your job, and you're going to take those and really just change your life around, and you just started by doing it now. How do you feel?
Good.
A little liberated.
What you have just done is you have closed the door of temptation that those credit cards have always allowed you to have. And you now are starting your path to true financial freedom.